Well, welcome to the show. I am really excited about our episode today. You guys are going to love it because we have a special guest. She is a female entrepreneur, Jennifer Williams. She is a pioneer in the custom closet business. So, ladies, if you want to show up in an organized and in a way that will make it easier for you to grab and go to show up as the leader that you are, then listen up. This episode is going to be for you. So, Jennifer, 34 years ago, in her early 20s, she started the first locally owned closet company in her hometown of St. Louis, Missouri, called St. Louis Closet Co. And it started just as an idea to provide custom closet solutions to her clients, but has grown into so much more. Today, with a local 30,000 square foot factory and a staff of 40, she has grown into the city's most trusted solutions for closets, mudrooms, pantries, laundry rooms, Murphy beds, and more. Jennifer, I'm excited to chat today, not only about what it looks like to be organized, but also your entrepreneurial journey to scale from the seed of an idea to an incredible, well-known, industry-leading organization. Like, what an accomplishment. So thanks for being here. I'm excited.
Well, thank you, Charity, and all your listeners. I'm so excited to be here. I have my bubbly, right? Business and bubbly. So we're here today. So excited to be here and tell everybody my story and maybe some tips about being organized at home and at business and how I think it really can help you with the success of your business by being organized. But real quick, a little background. So I started my business in 1991. I was in graduate school studying PR and communications, and like a lot of graduate students, had no idea what I wanted to do. And I was waiting tables, and a friend of mine came into St. Louis and he opened up a custom closet company. Now, 34 years ago, custom closet companies were very rare. Nobody really even understood the concept. So he's like, Jennifer, you would love this. You're gonna. So I was in graduate school waiting tables. So I was like, sure, I'll do another job. So I took the job. I worked there for 2 weeks and it just hit me. It was like lightning. I was like, this is it. This is my passion. I've always loved organization. My mom said I was organizing my closet when I was in middle school. And I just saw the joy that this product and this process brought to my clients. When you do a home remodeling project, it's kind of like, oh, you have to get a new hot water heater. Oh, you have to fix the plumbing. Oh, we'll get a new washing machine. But when you get a custom closet, you're so excited about it, right? You open that door every single day. Your clothes are organized. You can find things. Your husband and your kids can find things. And all of a sudden, life just starts falling into place. So for me, that was it. That was like 2 weeks working for someone else. And I said, okay, I need to do this. So I dropped out of graduate school. I quit working for the other closet company and I wrote a business plan. I got a small business administration loan to get started. I was only 25, right? And I didn't have any business background, whether, I hadn't owned a business before, and I really hadn't studied business in school. I was marketing. And um, so I just started. And I talk to a lot of high school and college entrepreneurship classes now. And I'm always like, you know, 1 in 5 small businesses fail in the first year. And then I think 9 out of 10 fail in the first 5 years. So you might as well get started early, right? And it's like you just need to jump in and have an idea, have a passion, find something that you really, really love because a lot of people believe being an entrepreneur and owning your own business is, oh, you're so lucky. Oh, this is, so easy. You can take off whenever you want. But actually, I think if you're a successful entrepreneur, you work way harder. Now, you may have some flexibility with your schedule, but you're working nights, you're working weekends. It really becomes another child, right? You're with it all the time. So make sure that business idea that you have really, really is a passion of yours. And
Yeah.
organization was a passion of mine. So I was very fortunate. I was born and raised in St. Louis, and St. Louis is this amazing city that loves to support locally owned businesses. And, I feel like St. Louis rallied behind me and really just lifted me and my business. I have the most amazing team, and through the years, we have just continued to grow and grow, both from repeat and referral business, and also by offering new products along the way. So, I mean, that's sort of how I got started. Where we are today, as you mentioned, we have a 30,000 square foot manufacturing facility and showroom. We do make everything right here in St. Louis, which is really cool because there's not a lot of manufacturing left in the United States.
Yeah.
So we invite our clients to come and see the showroom, look around, but also they can be watching the closets being made right here in our factory. So that's great.
Oh, I love that. I love when you talked about just that moment, like that aha moment where you just realized that this was it. And this was the lightning bolt moment. The lights went on in you and in your clients. I think that there's something like that is a really, really incredible sweet spot. Like what you're saying, it's like, oh, business is hard. There are days where we want to
Right.
quit, where we want to like just shut it all down. And you have to be able to really come back to that aha moment that lights you up and that says, no, this is something that I love. This is something that is serving other people as well. So I love that you had that. So looking back, obviously, we heard a great backstory, kind of how it started and where you're at now. Looking back, if there was something that you could tell your younger self, your beginner self, knowing what you know now, what would you go back and tell her?
Well, I think I would start with you need way more money than you think you need.
Yeah.
I spent, several months researching the industry. And remember back then, I don't know how old your listeners are, but there was no Google. There was no internet, right? So we researched things, from libraries. The Yellow Pages. I drove around to some other local cities and other states that had closet companies. Um, so, researching the industry, I wrote a business plan. I thought I needed $50,000 to start. Looking back, I needed probably $200,000 to start. I made it work. I was young. I wasn't paying myself. I was driving an old beat up Volkswagen Bug. I didn't have a house payment. I didn't have kids. And so I could live on a shoestring budget. But in reality, looking back, if I would have had more money, I think I could have, spent more on marketing and advertising. I could have invested more in employees earlier on to really grow the business. When in St. Louis, this was a new concept. We grew very, very slowly, which is good. I mean, that's good. If you grow too fast, sometimes that can be a little scary too. But that would probably be the number one thing. And I hear that time and time again from small businesses is that you think you've done all your research, you think you know how much you need, but in reality, you need 2 to 4 times what you really think you need for all these unexpected things that happen that you can't predict. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. What were some of
We
the
were,
unexpected things that happened for you that you had to navigate through? Because I also
um,
that like yes business but who we also become in the process, who we learn, like the problem solving that we learn, like the capacity that we learn to carry throughout. Like it's very different being a solopreneur to then having 5 people or 10 people or 20 people, or now for you 40 people on your team and navigating that now as a leader, right? It's very, very different. So what were some of the unexpected things that came up for you in your journey, and how did
well, 9/11
oh
was
yeah.
probably the first biggest unexpected thing. Nobody predicted that.
Yeah.
And, that was in 2001. And we were growing. I mean, we had been in business then 6+ years on our seventh year. And we had just brought in, more installation vehicles, more machinery. And all of a sudden, literally 9/11 happens.
Wow.
And the world shut down for a week. The phones didn't ring. Nobody knew what was going to happen. So that uncertainty. Then fast forward to 2007, 2008 during the Great Recession.
Yeah.
I had just purchased in 2006 our 30,000 square foot building. We had spent 2 years renovating it, buying all new equipment. We were growing, 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 and we were like, okay, we have to, increase our size. We moved into the new facility and the recession hit.
Wow.
And my business went from growing to it just fell off a cliff.
Wow.
And it took years to build that volume back up. And here we were in this new, larger facility, and we had to keep, maintaining the payments for all of that.
So how did you keep going on those days where you all of a sudden things are going great and then bam, they completely change? Like what were the
Completely changed. Yeah.
conversations in your head to where on those days you're like, yep, I'm just gonna let it all go and I'm just gonna shut it all down. I'm just gonna put a for sale sign on this thing and I'm just gonna like what was the conversations that you were having with yourself in those make or break moments?
Well, I think we were going back to drinking bubbly at that time, thinking, oh no, what's going to happen? It was a day by day thing.
Yeah.
Even though I say it, it was like someone turned off a light switch, but it was a gradual over 6 months decline in business. And we quickly and immediately looked at everywhere that we could cut costs
Yeah.
without having to lay off people. My people are very, very special to me. My average tenure is 25 years.
Okay.
So to me, that's really important. So without cutting salaries, we had some remote showroom locations that we negotiated to get out of the leases. So we didn't have that extra expense. We cut down our installation lead time very quickly, which just caused some internal things. We quit spending money on elaborate gifts to some of our builders and designers. We cut back our holiday parties for our employees. We did things to cut costs immediately.
Right.
And then we just worked really, really, really hard over the next, it was probably 5 or 6 years to build back the business that we had lost. But probably the biggest example of a crisis that nobody expected and the things that we had to do was COVID.
Yeah.
And here
No,
we
I
were.
would think it's closets. That would have been really good for you though, because people
It turned out
working on their house.
It turned out to be the greatest thing that's ever happened to my business.
Yeah.
However, that very first week when St. Louis County said all non-essential businesses are going to be closed.
Yeah.
Remember, March of 2020, they said, we're going to close for 2 weeks. We're going to flatten the curve and then everybody will go back to work.
Yeah.
So I brought all my employees in. I said, we're going to close for 2 weeks. We readjusted our installation schedule. And within 2 days, my clients started calling. Jennifer, I need you. I need you. We need you in our house because our kids are home. They can't go to school. My husband's working from home now. He doesn't have a home office. All of a sudden, we have 4 or 5 people in the house all day, every day that aren't normally here. We need organization. And people were not spending money on traveling or parties or baseball games. So they started spending money on their house. So within 2 days, we quickly brought all of our employees back and we had to go out and buy more installation vehicles because my installers were not permitted to ride in a van together. Everybody had to have their own van.
Yeah.
We invested more money than I would hate to even add it up in Clorox wipes and masks and gloves and goggles because we were working in people's homes.
Right.
So we had to change everything that we did. But it's sort of thinking on your feet. It's sort of being able to make decisions. And I tell all business owners, and I think women in particular, sometimes we have a harder time making a decision. I don't know if we worry too much, we think it through too much. But when you're a small business owner, if you can't make decisions quickly, everything freezes, right?
Yeah.
There's a study that says the average person makes 30,000 plus decisions a day. 30,000, just a regular person. Am I going to drink water or tea? Am I going to wake up at 5 or 5:30? I mean, all these decisions. But as a small business owner, every decision you make about your business is affecting your clients, it's
Yes.
affecting your brand, and it's affecting your employees. So you have to be willing to make quick decisions,
Yes.
move forward, knowing that they're not all going to be great. Maybe you have to recorrect along the way, but you have to be willing to make decisions quickly.
Yeah, that's so good. And
And
I
especially,
would
oh,
even
sorry.
say like calling out or just recognizing in you this not only decision making, but resilience to be in business as long as you have been in business to in a world that today people can turn on a funnel and turn it right back off and start an Instagram account and start selling things on TikTok and then turn it right back off. I actually think that what you carry in longevity and resiliency is something that is so needed in today's instant gratification. I'm in for 5 minutes and I'm back out because it got hard. So I just love that about you. So I
Yeah, well,
really,
it's not easy.
yeah.
It's not easy. And if any of your listeners are thinking, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, it's going to be so great, give them my email. And we'll have a talk. Now, it's great too. It's great. It's
Yeah.
challenging, and I love every second of it. So I don't want to discourage anyone, but I feel like you have to go into being a business owner with your eyes wide open.
Yeah.
You have to know that there is going to be great times and there's going to be awful times,
Yeah.
just like any other job, right? I mean, there's goods and bads about all jobs, whether you work for someone else or you work for yourself. When you work for yourself, however, I feel like at least in my situation, I feel like I have this obligation to my employees. You know, I have 40 other children and they're all my employees and I know their spouses and their kids and we're feeding these mouths and I have this obligation to, take care of them, but I also have an obligation to my community to continue to provide, an excellent product, excellent service, to warranty our service and
Mhm.
make sure that people are receiving what it is that they expect from a successful business. And I
Yeah.
feel like in today's world, that's hard to find.
Yeah. No, it is. That's so good. I love that. Well, there's one other point that from your story, I want to chat a little bit about, and then I want to get into some organization stuff.
Okay. All
I
right,
just
great.
love some of these points, and I'm really feeling this intuitive invitation to go here. And it was actually when you said that you had worked for the other closet company,
Mhm,
and then you were like, this is it. And then you left and
mhm.
started your own. Right. So, I mean, like, yes, there was some planning. I'm sure there was a little bit of time in between, but what was that like from an internal, like for you, of was there anything that happened behind the scenes of okay, now like I'm working with a competitor now, or I'm like immediately like a new competitor in the business world? And was there anything that happened with that?
Well, I had only worked for them for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I had not been there for a long time. So they, um, I don't think they cared. I don't want to say they didn't care. It turns out they did care. They actually went out of business a year later, well, which is not great, but it was a franchise. It, I once again, it goes back to when you're 25, you're like, you know what? I think you're willing to take more risks.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur is all about taking risks, right? At any age. But when you're younger, you're like, okay, well, you know what? If this doesn't work, I'll just go do something else. Or, I'll go back to, graduate school, or I'll just go wait tables. Or I didn't have, a house to lose. I didn't have mouths to feed at home. It was sort of just me. So I think that, to be honest, I don't think I really thought, it sounds, I don't know, now that you're asking me this, it sounds kind of maybe bad now, but I don't think I thought about that.
Yeah.
I thought I was so in love with what I was doing. I was so excited about doing this on my own. My parents had been entrepreneurs. My grandparents were entrepreneurs. So sort of this idea of owning my own business was not a new thing to me. I had never done it, but I'd seen my parents and my grandparents. And so I just dove in, head first. I was like, let's just go. Let's do it. I can do it better. I am not a franchise. I'm locally owned. I'm a woman, and 95% of my clients are women. And I
Mm.
think that, I understand the needs better with what you need in your closet than a man does. I really believe that. And I think that that's important.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's so good. Thanks for sharing. I just wasn't sure if there was anything that kind of got, a little messy behind the scenes, but I think it reigns true to what you said. It was like, oh, I was actually there for 2 weeks. And I kind of equate this to me where hey, just a quick little invitation here for you to give one of my new favorite products a try. It's called Glossy. And if you know anything about me, that you know that I love to share things that I love. I love to talk about the things that I love that I'm using, whether it's new products, new services, fun books that I'm sharing about. So I'm always on the hunt for new products that help with high performance, that help me not only as a business owner, as a founder, as a speaker, as a podcaster, and even as a mom feel better, but it's got to be able to fit into my daily routine. And I have found one that is like my new obsession. It's called Glossy. It's a skin and a gut daily ritual supplement. It's a skin routine that you can drink. Not only does it taste amazing, like a light, refreshing lemon spa water that I could drink all day, seriously, but it's making me feel so recharged and like I'm feeding my body and skin everything it needs to keep up with me and my goals. It has a clinically studied probiotic in it that survives the trip to your gut so that you know that it's working, along with hyaluronic acid, which is incredible for glowy, hydrated look to your skin. And on top of that, it's loaded with skin-loving ingredients like zinc, magnesium, vitamin C, coconut water powder, minerals, electrolytes, and antioxidants. It's how I love to actually start my day as well as end my day, because when I wake up in the morning, I actually get the feeling that I feel less bloated, which, hello, is amazing. So for real, this is a game changer, especially if you travel, if you're busy, and if you have to have something that help you support your body while you are going after your big ideas. So if you want glowing skin and a happy gut, go grab your subscription, because it's the best results take 30 to 60 days. You can go to getglossy.com. That's GETGLOCI.com, and use my coupon code CharityMajors for an awesome discount. Now, understand that this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. But again, that's all the official legal stuff, right? Go to getglossy.com and grab your skin and gut supplement, because great skin starts from within. That's at getglossy, GETGLOCI.com, and use my coupon code CharityMajors. Grab your subscription today. You are going to love it. I have no doubt. Go to getglossy.com and use the coupon code CharityMajors. Now back to the show. Okay, well, now I'm excited to dive into some organizational tips and tricks that you have. You're clearly an expert when it comes to organization and closets. And I think this conversation, especially for us as women that are listening to this is something that maybe doesn't get talked about as much, but I feel like it's one of those insider hacks or insider secrets that can actually help us as women in business be a lot more efficient, be a lot more effective, even back to the decision-making conversation that you were having, probably when things are more organized, make better decisions.
Absolutely.
So I would love to just have you expand on all of that.
Well, okay. So this was not a study I did. Rubbermaid did a study several years ago that said an organized closet will save you 10 minutes a day.
Huh.
Looking for things. Imagine that 10 minutes a day. Add it up. It's over an hour a week. That alone, if you can recreate an hour a week out of your schedule. We just
Yeah.
had daylight savings here and I lost an hour. I'm upset about that. So having that organization in your home, whether it's your closet, whether it's your kids' closets, whether it's a mudroom or drop zone where the whole family gets to use. Imagine every morning where everyone in your family gets up, knows exactly where their clothes are, exactly where their purse, their book bag, their homework, their sporting goods, and everybody can just have a much more peaceful morning. If
Yeah.
you set yourself up to succeed, I love that story about, I think it's like girlfriend, make your bed, or girlfriend, wash your face, or it's like, do these things that are going to set you up for success. So by having an organized closet, we'll just talk about a woman's closet, right? We all probably have too many clothes. We definitely all have too many shoes, but we
I'm
spend
guilty of that. I
we
love shoes.
spend a lot of money on our shoes, on our purses, and our clothes. And so many of us have the typical one shelf, one pole, right? And we just throw stuff in the bottom all over the floor. There's stuff piled at the top that you can't get to. And then you shove things in there. You're not really taking care of your investment. And an investment in purses and shoes and clothing is enormous.
Yeah.
So a custom closet, first of all, it will help you take care of your clothes. It will cause your clothes to be less wrinkled, number one. So when you pull everything out in the morning to get dressed, you don't have to get the steamer out, the iron out, because it'll have its own space. Your shoes aren't going to come out all scuffed up. You're not going to be searching for the one shoe. And it also saves you money because you don't go shopping to buy things that you already have. How many of your listeners right now have 5+ things hanging in their closet that probably still have the tags on it? And then we go out and we shop and we think, oh, I need a pair of black pants. And you bring it home and you're like, oh, I had 3 more pair. I haven't taken the tags off. So having a system in your closet, it it takes care of your clothing better. It allows you to see everything. It allows you to get dressed faster, more efficiently. And I think that I mean, of course, I have an organized closet. I love my closet. I couldn't live without my closet. I walk in there in the morning and I tend to wear more outfits, because you're like, oh, how about this one? And how about this one? You can see your clothes. Your clothes just stay in better condition. One of the things that I love the most about our closet systems is this little accessory we sell. It's called a telescoping rod. And you pull it out and it allows you to, I always set out my outfit the night before, what I'm going to wear, put it on the telescoping rod, and it's right there when I get up in the morning.
I love that.
And it makes me happy. It just, when you are organized, I I promise you, you're going to be so much happier, less stressed. And you don't have to organize your whole house in one day,
Yeah.
right? I tell my clients, don't even start with your closet. Start with one drawer, usually the junk drawer in the kitchen. Start
Yeah.
with one drawer, take everything out of it, clean it really good, maybe get some drawer organizers, really go through things, put it back in an orderly fashion. That one cleaned out, organized drawer, I promise will bring you so much happiness, you won't even believe it. And then that drawer starts spreading like, oh, okay, now let's do the linen closet. Let's do the coat closet. Let's do my closet. Let's get the kids organized. And it just, I don't know. I can't even explain it other than the incredible feeling you have. And you sort of feel like you've started your day off successful, right? And you walk out of the house early or on time. You look good. Your clothes look good. And you walk into your office and you sort of are like, okay, let's start the day, as opposed to being like frazzled and late and I couldn't find this and I couldn't find that. And oh, my blouse is torn. I didn't even notice that. Oh, I've got on two color shoes. I mean, it's just a way of setting yourself up for success.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
remember when we organized, I put our house up for sale and did some organizing around that and got rid of a bunch of things. This was a couple of years ago. And it was like this feeling of, as we got rid of stuff, as we sorted things is, it's like we have kids, so then it's all of a sudden all the kids' toys and the pieces get put into different bins, and then you bring them back together and you get rid of stuff. And we did the same thing with our closets. And it's actually as we're going to be doing that again this spring. But I just remember this feeling of lightness. It was like this, I didn't realize that the stuff was weighing, just emotionally or whatever it was, it was like, oh, I didn't realize how light it felt when we got rid of stuff, and then to walk into that organized space. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, I think the physical clutter causes emotional clutter,
Right.
right? So when you can get a grasp on the physical clutter, I feel like you've set yourself up to just have a better day. And we live in a world right now where we shop at the big box stores, right? We shop on Amazon. We are such a consumer nation. We have too much stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody has, some people more than others, but we have too much stuff. And, depending on, how old your home is, really a lot of older homes don't have closets at all. They
Right.
don't have a lot of storage space. Newer homes have huge closets, and people tend to just chock them full of so much stuff. And it's the physical clutter that really, really does, put a big weight on you. And I don't think people realize it until they actually get organized. Some people don't need a custom closet. I mean, I think everybody should have a custom closet because I think they're the greatest things ever.
I'm
But
with you. I'm with you.
some people just need to maybe have a really good friend or hire a professional organizer who's going to come in and sort of make some tough decisions with them and be
Yeah.
like, okay, we have to declutter your home.
Yeah.
And there is so many charitable organizations these days that will take food, clothing, cleaning supplies, coats, hats, all of the extra stuff. So you actually feel good when you know that
Yeah.
you're donating these things to, people that need it.
Yes, absolutely. I remember it's like when I was getting rid of some of my harder pieces to get rid of. So, for example, I used to be in pageants and made top six in the world, and so I had these beautiful dresses that when I wore them, I felt incredible. They are stunning. They were investments. I even custom made this beautiful one that got rated as like top dress in the world by like another magazine. And it was beautiful. And that one, it was almost like like probably what it felt like to get rid of your wedding dress, which I still have my wedding dress, but it was like, oh, okay, I could hold on to this and it could sit in my closet. I've retired from pageants. Or as like as hard as it might be to either sell it or give it away, or in that moment to actually know that now my dress, it's been back on stage multiple times and multiple women have felt so beautiful in it, and they've written me and they're like, I got your dress and I was so excited. And so it's like kind of made its rounds with a couple other women who've competed and have been on stage, and it's like, oh, like that dress was made to be worn and to be on stage, not sit in a closet. And so I was like, oh, like it actually made me feel better to know that that dress was serving more of its purpose instead of just sitting in my closet.
Right. And it is a good feeling. We recently, St. Louis Closet Company, we just did a coat drive because
Yeah.
we had a particularly cold winter here, and the homeless and the sheltered population is growing. And here I have all these clients who I want them to clean out their closets and call me so we can come organize them. So we did a partnership with the Winter Outreach Program, and our clients brought in all their coats and hats and boots, and we were able to donate 4 truckloads full of, it was the most unbelievable, incredibly generous donation program
Wow.
we've done. And it felt so good. And my customers were like, this was so great. How many times do you have coats in your closet that you haven't worn in 10 plus years?
Oh, maybe not
10
that
plus
long.
years.
I was raising my hand.
Yeah.
I've got some that it's been a couple of years, but
And then especially kids' clothes. Kids outgrow their coats before they even barely wear
oh,
them. They still look like new, and you're like, oh, it's brand new. I spent a lot of money. I don't want to get rid of that. well, there's somebody out there that can really use that coat. So I just think that the decluttering process is important also. So whether you call a custom closet company in your area or a professional organizer or get a really, really good friend who's going to be honest with you and be like, you will never wear that again. It's time to get rid of that. That doesn't fit you. It's outdated. T-shirts, men have a really hard time getting rid of t-shirts. They have t-shirts from like their fraternities and they won't get rid of them. They're so sentimental and they're just taking up all this space in the closet. So I think that the whole decluttering process is so important in our lives because we tend to have too much stuff right now.
Yeah, that's so good. So what tips would you give for someone who either they're in the process of knowing they need to declutter? So for us, we did a big one a couple years ago, but we're like, that's on our agenda actually in a few weeks, is to go through another big, massive declutter for us and for our home and for our space. But maybe someone who is, they have decluttered, but maybe their closet isn't working for them. What would you say, especially like the custom closet thing that you provide? I would assume there probably is some really great ways that with your custom options, it actually helps the decluttering process, for everything to have a space, for everything to be highlighted beautifully or hung beautifully or in a way. Yeah, so maybe someone has organized, or maybe they are now at the space where, oh, my closet is not working for me. And I need someone like Jennifer and her company to come in and help me do a custom closet. Like, what are the benefits of that? Or maybe what's the sign that someone knows that they need to go from your everyday regular closet into a lot more custom built for your needs, for your lifestyle, for even just
Well,
where
okay.
you're going in life?
So I think if you have the old-fashioned closet, which is one shelf and one pole, which is very typical, um, you can minimally, just absolutely at the bare minimum, you can have a custom closet company come in, double hang it. So you put, one rod up, one row down, and you increase your closet space by 100%.
Yeah.
So just right there, if that's the closet you have, I recommend calling a closet company. The majority of the closet companies in the United States offer free estimates. I don't know if they all do, but we do, and so do most of them. So you're not out anything to get an estimate. If you have wire shelving in your closets, especially if you have wire shelving in your pantry, then absolutely do not wait another second. Like, quit listening right now and call a custom closet company.
Pull them out. Right.
Wire shelving in pantries is awful because all the little things tip on the wire shelves. Wire shelves are awful. But I think you get to a point where you're just frustrated, right? You can't find what you want. It's not, you have a big pile of sweaters up on that top shelf and you pull one out of the bottom and it tips over. Maybe the whole floor of your closet is a disaster and you're like trying to walk over things to get to the back of the closet. I think if you're in any of those spots in your life, you should probably at least look at a custom closet company or a do-it-yourself organizer, or, I hate it when people go out and they try to patch together some small solutions without looking at the big picture first. We can all go to the big box stores or go online and order all these little things, an over the door shoe thing and a little stack of drawers over here in the corner and maybe a little jewelry necklace thing without looking at the whole picture. So I think you need to really have a professional come in and look at the whole thing as a whole and then make decisions, because I'm always shocked at how much money people will spend on all these little trinkety organizer piece by piece meal things. And they get to the end and they're still not very happy and they've
Right.
spent a lot of money.
Right.
So, step back. First of all, start small. Charity, you sound like you did maybe your whole house at once, and that's amazing. But I also find that if people take on too much, like you just say, this weekend we're spring cleaning all the closets and everybody takes everything out, all of a sudden it's like the day gets going on, you don't get the stuff put back away, then nobody has a clean bed to sleep in. And
Yeah.
then you get frustrated and you think, well, that doesn't work. So start small, whether it's room by room, drawer by drawer, closet by closet. Start small so that you start seeing the benefits quickly. And like I
Yeah.
said, that one organized drawer in your kitchen. I mean, I do it once a year. We sort of have this junk drawer in the kitchen, and every year I do it. And I'll take pictures of it. I'll send it to my sister. I'm like, look at my drawer. It looks so great. You just get so much joy out of that. And then there's always, there's the one in, one out rule. If you go buy something new, then take something else that you have and replace it.
I love that.
There's I think it's like the 90% rule or something where, you know, do you use this item 90% of the time?
Mm-hmm.
And if the answer is no, or like, how long has it been since you really, really wore something? And of course, we're going to all have sentimental things. Like you said, our wedding dresses, right? We're not going to throw those away, but we hang on to clothes. So many of my clients will be like, oh, well, I have like 4 full different closets for different sizes when I gain weight or lose weight, and I don't want to throw away all those clothes. And I think, well, that once again, that's weighing on you mentally.
Yeah.
And so I just think that you just have to you just sort of know, right? Is this working? Is this not working? And if you have kiddos, I mean, kids benefit from organization like there's no tomorrow. I mean, they love to be organized. They love to be able to put their own shoes on the little shelf. They love to have, pick your toys up and they have a basket to put the toys. You can label the baskets, you can label the drawers. Then they can become part of the household routine of, okay, come get your laundry, go put it away where it belongs. Clean up your room. Maybe you build some shelves with baskets for the toys. Balls go in one, games go here. You give them a person, then you start training this sort of organizational habits early in life.
Yeah. I love that. That's so good. Well, I'm sure this is going to be so helpful for people as we head into spring cleaning and all of that fun stuff, which is right when this episode is going to come out. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing your story, your time. Like I said, I just really admire the resilience that you carry as a woman in business. It's no small feat. Like what you said, 90% of businesses fail within the first year and even more so within that first 5 years. So I just feel like we all just need to give you like a big round of applause for the longevity and the quality that you have maintained and just had over the years. So I've loved our conversation. I'm sure people are going to want to reach out to you, find you, follow you, get some organizational tips. So why don't you share where people can can dive into your world?
Okay, great. Well, thank you for having me. It's just so much fun. Business owners love to talk about what, themselves and their business. So thank you. Um, you can email me, your listeners can email me. It's Jennifer at stlouisclosetco.com. That's stlouisclosetco.com. Our website is www.stlouisclosetco.com. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, House, and YouTube. So you can, Google St. Louis Closet Co. and follow us anywhere. You can feel free to, reach out with an email. I'd be happy to answer any questions or, I'm sure a lot of your listeners are all over the country. I know a lot of closet company owners in other cities, so I can refer some of them if you're interested. But, I just think that, real quickly to sum up, you know, girls go for it, I mean, just go for it. You can do it and, have a passion and no, it's not going to be easy, but it is so fulfilling, so fulfilling.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited about our conversation. And you guys will make sure to have all of her links and everything in the show notes as well. Reach out to Jennifer for those organizational tips and tricks, and even have our company come and help you with your closets and all of the places that we need to declutter. Yeah, I just get the sense that even this year, there's going to be a lot of people that maybe they did it in 2020 and 2021 2021, and it's even like now's the time, or maybe things over the last couple of years have accumulated again. So Jennifer, I even just believe that this year is going to be another really, really incredible year for you in organizational, with your organizational business, with your custom closets. And I'm really excited to be connected with you. So thank you so much for sharing and for being on the show.
Thank you, Charity. This has been great. Thanks.
Thank you so much for listening to the show. I hope it brought some value and some fun into your business and life. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, and even share the episode with a fellow business bestie who you know will love it. It helps us continue to attract top-level guests and reach more and more women who are on their journey in business just like you. Remember that when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. Cheers to your success.